The dispatcher did not rush. She never does. 911, what is the location of your emergency? She said, steady and flat, like a line drawn in steel. Linda lifted her chin and paced the porch like she owned the boards under her feet. Willow Creek Ridge Boundary Property, unauthorized mail refusing HOA access, she said. Her heel tapped once, sharp. She was performing now. I watched her eyes flick between me and the broken key still hanging from my lock. The wind pushed her hair across her face. She did not move it. Control mattered more than comfort. Ma'am, confirm the address, the dispatcher said again. That pause stretched just a second too long. Linda hesitated. There is no HOA address for my cabin. She did not know that. One of the board members leaned in and whispered something. She waved him off. It is the ranch cabin past the south access road, she snapped. We have jurisdiction. The word sounded heavy in her mouth. Like she wanted it to be true. I shifted my weight on the gravel. The crunch carried farther than it should have. Every sound felt sharper now. The keypad beside the door blinked again. A quiet green pulse. Then still. That system logs every access attempt. Every failure. Every time someone tries a key that does not belong. Linda kept building her case. She said the structure was abandoned. She said she had received complaints. She said I refused inspection. Each sentence came faster than the last. Her voice climbed without her noticing. The dispatcher did not interrupt. She let Linda talk. That is how professionals collect information. The man with the clipboard finally stepped off the cart. His shoes sank slightly into the dirt. He looked at me like he wanted this to be over already. You should just comply, he muttered, low enough for Linda not to hear. I did not answer him either. Silence again. It was doing the work for me. The cattle down the slope shifted. One of them let out a low call. Even they felt the tension sitting on this porch. Ma'am, who owns the property? The dispatcher asked. The question landed clean. No emotion. Just fact. Linda smiled then. That tight, practiced smile. The association oversees all structures within. This boundary, she said. She did not say my name. She did not know it. That was her second mistake. I stepped forward one pace. Close enough to see the reflection of the camera lens in her phone screen. You might want to answer that carefully, I said. My voice stayed level. No threat. Just wait. She ignored me. Of course she did. People like her always think volume beats accuracy. The dispatcher spoke again, slower this time. Ma'am, I need the registered owner. The air shifted. You could feel it. Linda opened her mouth, ready to push harder. That is when the voice changed, just slightly. Not louder. Not sharper. Just familiar in a way that does not belong to strangers. I saw it before she did. The man with the clipboard stopped moving. Even the wind seemed to hold. Linda was about to say something she could not take back. She opened her mouth with that same practiced confidence. The association holds authority over, she started, but the dispatcher cut in, clean and precise. Ma'am, I am asking for the registered owner of that property. The words landed heavier this time. Not louder. Just sharper. Linda blinked once. That tiny pause was new. The man with the clipboard looked at me again, longer now. He was starting to connect dots he did not like. The other one shifted back toward the cart, like distance might protect him from whatever was unfolding. Linda straightened her shoulders. She doubled down. The property is under review. The owner is non-compliant, she said. Her voice lost a little polish on that last word. The wind picked up and pushed dust across the porch again. It curled around her shoes, then slipped past her into the open doorway seam that never opened. The keypad blinked once more. Green. Silent. Recording everything. "Ma'am," the dispatcher said, slower now, "I am going to need a name." That was it. No room to hide inside titles or vague claims. Just a name. Linda's jaw tightened. She did not have one. I could see it. The way her fingers gripped the phone just a little harder. The way her eyes flicked to the broken key like it might help her. It would not. That key did not belong to this place. Neither did she. I took another step up. Onto the first board of the porch. The wood creaked under my weight. Old boards. Solid. Familiar. Mine. "You are standing on private ranch property," I said, calm and even. "You should answer her question." Linda turned toward me like I had crossed a line. Her smile came back, thinner this time. "You are making this worse for yourself," she said. The words sounded rehearsed. Like something she had used before on people who folded under pressure. I did not fold. I just waited. The dispatcher did too. That silence stretched again. It pressed on all of us. Even the cattle had gone quiet now. Then the voice on the phone shifted again. Not in tone. In familiarity. "Ma'am, I am going to log this call. False reporting carries penalties," she said. Linda's eyes widened for a fraction of a second. There it was. The first real crack. She recovered fast. Of course she did. People like her always think they can talk their way out. "This is not false. I am reporting unauthorized occupancy," she insisted. Her voice climbed again. Too fast. Too tight. The man with the clipboard took one step back. He was done being part of this, even if he did not say it out loud. I leaned slightly toward the phone, just enough for the mic to catch my voice clearly. "Rebecca," I said, steady. Just her name. Nothing else. The air changed. You could feel it move through the space like a current. Linda froze. The dispatcher did not respond right away. That was the tell. She heard me. She recognized me. Linda looked down at her phone, then back at me. Confusion replaced control for the first time. "Who did you just say?" she asked. Her voice had lost its edge. I did not answer her. I did not need to. Because the woman on the other end already had. The line stayed quiet for one long second. Then her voice came back, lower, controlled, and no longer generic. "Ethan, confirm your location," she said. "Not sir. Not caller. My name." Linda's grip tightened around the phone. I could see her thumb press harder against the screen. She looked at me like the ground had shifted under her feet. "You know him?" she asked, her voice thin now. I did not answer her. I kept my eyes on the phone. "South Ridge Cabin. Mile marker 12, I said. "Clear. Direct." The dispatcher exhaled softly, like a piece of a puzzle had just locked into place. "Copy that," she said. That tone carried weight. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just certain. Linda took a step back without realizing it. Her heel caught the edge of the porch board. She steadied herself fast, but the balance was gone. The man with the clipboard lowered it completely now. He was no longer pretending this was routine. The other one leaned against the cart, arms crossed, watching like he did not want to be seen. "Ma'am, stay on the line," the dispatcher said. That instruction was not for me. It was for Linda. She blinked again, slower this time. "I am the reporting party," Linda said, trying to pull control back. "This man is trespassing on association property." Her words sounded weaker now. The structure was there, but the confidence had cracks. The wind moved through the grass again. The fence wire hummed louder this time. Even the air felt sharper. "Ma'am, do you have documented ownership or legal authority for that structure?" the dispatcher asked. No emotion. Just pressure. Linda opened her mouth, then closed it. That was new. She had been talking non-stop since she stepped onto my porch. Now she was searching. "We oversee this entire boundary," she said finally. She did not answer the question. The dispatcher did not react. She just logged it. You could hear the faint clicking of keys through the line. Every word Linda said was being written down somewhere permanent. I took one more step up onto the porch. Close enough now to see the reflection of her own face in the black screen edge of her phone. Tight jaw. Wide eyes. Control slipping. "Rebecca," I said again, steady. This time, there was no pause. "I hear you," she replied. Calm. Direct. No disguise left. Linda's head snapped toward me. "Who is that?" she demanded. Her voice had lost its polish completely. I could see it now. The moment she realized this was not a normal call. Not a normal dispatcher. Not a situation she could manage with volume and paperwork. The keypad beside the door blinked again. Green. Logging everything. The camera above us caught every angle. The road behind the ridge was quiet, but not empty. I knew how long it took units to reach this point. I knew who would be notified when a call like this changed classification. Linda did not. She shifted her weight again, slower now. Careful. Like the porch itself might give way under her. "Ma'am," Rebecca said, her voice steady as stone, "I need you to clearly state your authority to access that property." The question hung in the air. Linda looked at the broken key still stuck in my lock. Then back at me. Then down at the phone. For the first time since she arrived, she had nothing ready to say. The silence stretched just long enough to feel heavy. Linda's eyes moved again, faster now, searching for something solid to stand on. "We manage community compliance," she said finally. The words came out thinner than before. Not an answer. Not even close. The dispatcher did not acknowledge it. I could hear the faint clicking again. Every word recorded. Every gap noted. That is how pressure works when it is quiet. Linda shifted her stance, squaring her shoulders like posture alone could fix what was slipping. "This structure falls within our oversight boundary," she added, trying to rebuild control piece by piece. The man with the clipboard did not look at her anymore. He was staring at the ground, jaw tight, like he already knew how this ended. The other one had stepped fully away from the porch now, leaning against the cart with his arms crossed, keeping distance. People feel it when a situation turns. They just do not always admit it out loud. The keypad blinked again. Green. Then still. Logging. Always logging. "Ma'am," Rebecca said, calm and exact, "that is not a legal authority statement." The words landed clean. No room to hide inside them. Linda inhaled sharply. I saw it in her shoulders. That quick rise and hold. She was not used to being corrected. Not like this. Not in front of witnesses. Not on record. "I am the president of the association," she said, louder now. Volume again. It was all she had left. The wind pushed across the porch, carrying the dry scent of cedar and dust. It moved through her words like they had no weight. "Title does not grant access to private property," Rebecca replied. No change in tone. No emotion. Just fact. Linda blinked twice. That small rhythm break said everything. She looked at the broken key again. Then at the door. Then back at me. The pieces were not lining up the way she expected. He is refusing inspection, she said, pointing at me now, like direction might anchor her argument. I did not move. I let her point. Let her build. Let her talk. Inspection requires consent or warrant, Rebecca said. Another clean line. Another piece removed from Linda's position. The man with the clipboard shifted his weight again, stepping farther off the porch. His shoes scraped against the gravel. That sound felt louder than it should. The camera above us caught every angle. The road behind the ridge stayed quiet, but I could feel the timing in my bones. Units would be moving now. Not fast. Not loud. Just moving. Ma'am, I am advising you to step away from that structure, Rebecca continued. That was new. Not a question. Not a request. Advice with weight behind it. Linda froze for a moment. Then she shook her head, almost reflexive. I am not stepping away from property under investigation, she said. Her voice tried to climb again, but it slipped halfway up. The confidence did not follow. I stepped fully onto the porch now. The wood held steady under my boots. Familiar. Solid. Mine. You should listen, I said quietly. Not a threat. Just truth. She looked at me like she wanted to push back, but something stopped her. Maybe the tone. Maybe the silence behind it. Maybe the voice still steady on her phone. Rebecca did not raise her voice. She did not need to. Ma'am, failure to disengage may change how this call is classified, she said. That sentence hung there. Heavy. Specific. Linda's fingers tightened around the phone again. Her knuckles went pale. She did not ask what that meant. That was the moment she realized she did not want the answer. The porch felt smaller now. Not physically. Just tighter, like the air had weight. Linda did not move when Rebecca spoke. She held her ground, but her posture had changed. Less forward. More defensive. This is a compliance issue, she said, slower. This time. She was choosing words carefully now. That was new. The wind shifted again, pushing a low hum through the fence line behind us. It sounded like a warning stretched thin across metal. The keypad blinked. Green. Logging everything. Always logging. Ma'am, this call is now being flagged for verification, Rebecca said. The words came clean and final. Not loud. Not aggressive. Just a line drawn in place. Linda swallowed. I saw it in her throat. A small movement, but it broke the rhythm she had been holding since she stepped onto my porch. Verification of what? She asked. Her voice dropped half a step. Not as sharp. Not as certain. Rebecca did not answer that question directly. She never does when the answer would only make things worse. Units are being updated with current information, she said instead. That was enough. The man by the cart straightened. His arms uncrossed without him realizing it. He looked down the ridge road like he expected to see something coming through the dust. The other one took another step back. Distance again. People always create distance when they feel the shift. Linda did not look back. She kept her eyes on me now. Trying to read something she could use. There was nothing there for her. I gave her nothing. Just stillness. Just presence. You are escalating this unnecessarily, she said, trying to pull the situation back into something she could control. Her tone aimed for authority, but it landed softer than she wanted. I tilted my head slightly. Not in challenge. Just enough to let her hear herself. You called it in, I said. Quiet. Direct. The word sat between us. Simple truth. Hard to move around. She blinked again. Slower. The pattern was breaking more now. The camera above us caught the angle of her face, the tightness around her eyes, the way her jaw flexed when she had nothing ready. "Ma'am, confirm you are still on the property," Rebecca said. That question came with weight. Linda hesitated. Just a fraction. But it was there. "Yes," she said. One word. Short. Careful. That answer mattered. She knew it. Even if she did not fully understand why yet. The gravel below the porch shifted as a breeze rolled through. I could smell dust and sun-warmed wood. Familiar. Grounded. This place had stood long before Linda learned how to file complaints. It would stand long after. The keypad blinked again. Then held steady. The access system had already marked her failed entry attempt. Time stamped. Logged. Paired with audio. The line stayed open. No one rushed. No one filled the silence. That is where mistakes grow. In the quiet between words. Linda glanced at the broken key again. It still hung from the lock like proof she could not ignore. Then she looked at her phone. Then back at me. "What exactly did you tell them?" she asked. Her voice was lower now. Controlled, but not confident. I met her eyes for the first time since she stepped onto the porch. "Enough," I said. Just one word. No more. That was all it took. Because she knew she had already said too much herself. The man with the clipboard shifted again, this time turning slightly away from her. Not fully. Just enough to signal he was no longer standing with her. That kind of shift does not make noise, but it changes everything. Rebecca's voice came back, steady as ever. "Ma'am, remain where you are. Do not attempt further entry. Not a suggestion. Not advice. Instruction." Linda did not argue this time. She just stood there, holding the phone a little tighter, listening to a system she no longer controlled. The ridge road stayed quiet, but it was not empty anymore. I could feel the timing shift in the air. Linda held the phone closer to her ear now, like distance might change what she was hearing. It did not. "Ma'am, units are approaching your location from the south access," Rebecca said. Calm. Precise. Not rushed. Linda turned her head slightly toward the road, just enough to check without admitting she was checking. Dust lifted far down the line, barely visible, but it was there. The man by the cart saw it too. His shoulders tightened, then dropped. He knew what that meant. The other one stepped fully off the porch now, boots crunching against gravel, creating space he could not explain. Linda stayed where she was, but her stance shifted again. Less planted. More uncertain. "This is unnecessary," she said, but the words lacked force. They sounded like something she needed to believe, not something she could prove. The keypad blinked again. Green. Then still. Every second logged. Every action tied to time. That system did not care about titles. It only recorded facts. "Ma'am, confirm you have ceased all attempts to access the structure," Rebecca said. Linda glanced at the broken key again. It hung there, a quiet reminder of where this started. "Yes," she said. One word. Careful. Measured. That answer mattered more than she realized. I stepped to the side, giving her a clear path off the porch. I did not tell her to leave. I did not need to. Sometimes the option itself says enough. She noticed. Her eyes flicked to the open space, then back to me. Pride held her in place. For now. The wind moved again, carrying a faint smell of engine heat from down the ridge. It was subtle, but it did not belong to this quiet morning. The man with the clipboard finally spoke, low and tight. "Linda, maybe we should step back," he said. Not loud. Not confrontational. Just enough to put distance between himself and her decisions. She did not look at him. "We are staying," she said. The words came quick, almost automatic. But the confidence behind them was gone. The camera above us caught the angle of her hand tightening around the phone again. Her knuckles had gone pale. The line stayed open. No static. No interruption. Just that steady presence on the other end. "Ma'am, do not obstruct responding units," Rebecca added. Another instruction. Another line drawn. Linda inhaled slowly this time. Controlled. Calculated. She was trying to regain something she had already lost. She looked back at the road again. The dust was clearer now. Movement without sound yet. That is how distance closes out here. Quiet first. Then presence. I leaned lightly against the porch rail. Old wood. Warm from the sun. Familiar. Grounded. "You brought this here," I said, not raising my voice. Not pushing. Just placing the truth where it belonged. She did not answer. Not this time. The silence between us felt different now. Heavier. More final. The man by the cart uncrossed his arms completely and stepped another foot back. He was already separating himself from whatever came next. Linda finally shifted her weight toward the edge of the porch. Just a small movement. Not a retreat. Not yet. But enough to show the ground was no longer solid under her. The keypad blinked once more. Green. Then dark. The system had everything it needed. Rebecca's voice came back one more time, steady as ever. "Units are on visual. Stay where you are." Linda froze again, eyes fixed on the road, as the first shadow moved through the dust. The first vehicle rolled through the dust slow and steady, tires crunching against the ridge road like it had done this 100 times before. No sirens. No rush. Just presence. That was enough. Linda's shoulders stiffened as the shape came into full view. County unit. Marked clear across the door. The second vehicle followed at a distance, stopping just short of the fence line like it already understood where the boundary sat. The man with the clipboard stepped farther back without being told. He lowered his head, eyes on the ground now. He was done. The other one leaned against the cart, arms loose at his sides, no longer pretending this was a routine visit. The air felt different. Not tense. Settled. Like something had already been decided. Linda did not move. She held the phone tighter, like it was the last piece of control she had left. "Officers are here," she said into the line, trying to reclaim her footing. Her voice was steady, but the edge was gone. Rebecca did not respond right away. She never fills space unless it matters. One of the officers stepped out, adjusting his hat as he looked up toward the porch. He did not rush. He took in the scene first. The broken key. The door. Me. Linda. The camera above us. He saw all of it. That is what experience looks like. The second officer stayed near the vehicle, watching the road behind, making sure nothing else moved into the frame. Control without noise. The first officer walked up the steps slowly. Each step measured. Each board creaked under his weight, echoing the same sound mine had made minutes earlier. Familiar. Grounded. Real. Linda turned toward him quickly, stepping half a pace forward. "Officer, this man is refusing HOA inspection and," she started, but he raised a hand slightly. Not aggressive. Just enough to pause her. "Ma'am, I need to understand what is going on," he said. Calm. Direct. No sides taken. Not yet. Linda blinked. That interruption caught her off rhythm again. She pointed toward me, faster now, trying to rebuild momentum. He is occupying this structure without compliance, she said. The words came out rehearsed, but they landed weaker in this space. The officer looked at me next. His eyes steady. Not suspicious. Not convinced either. Just reading. I met his gaze. I did not speak yet. I did not need to. The keypad blinked again. Green. Silent. The system had already written the story. The officer's eyes moved to the broken key still stuck in the lock. He paused there for a second. That detail mattered. It always does. Who attempted entry, he asked. Simple question. Clean. Linda answered too fast. We did, under association authority, she said. The words slipped out before she could adjust them. The man by the cart closed his eyes briefly. He knew that sentence would not sit right. The officer nodded once, slow. He was processing. Do you have documentation for that authority? He asked. Same calm tone. Same pressure. Linda hesitated again. Just a fraction. Then she lifted her chin. We oversee this entire boundary, she said. Same line. Same mistake. The officer did not react. He just let it sit there. Then he looked back at me. Sir, do you own this property? He asked. The question cut clean through everything Linda had been building. I opened my mouth to answer, but the voice on the phone spoke first, clear and controlled. Linda did not realize what that meant yet. Sir, confirm your name, Rebecca said through the phone, her voice cutting clean across the porch before I could answer the officer. The timing was exact. The officer glanced at Linda's phone, then back at me. He heard it too. Not just a dispatcher. Something more anchored. Ethan Cole, I said. Simple. No rush. The officer nodded once, then shifted his stance slightly, placing himself between me and Linda without making it obvious. Subtle. Professional. Linda's grip tightened. Again. Why is she asking him that, she said, her voice slipping just enough to show the crack. No one answered her. The keypad blinked again. Green. Silent. The system had already tied my name to this place long before she stepped onto the porch. Copy. Registered owner confirmed, Rebecca said. That was it. No build-up. No emphasis. Just fact placed on record. The officer's posture changed immediately. Not dramatic. Just a shift in weight. He turned slightly toward Linda now. Ma'am, I need you to step down from the porch, he said. Calm. Direct. No edge. But no space to argue either. Linda froze for a second. That was the moment everything she built stopped moving. This is still under review, she said, trying to recover. Her voice reached for authority, but it did not land. The officer did not react to that line. He had already moved past it. Ma'am, you attempted entry without authorization, he said. Same tone. Same pace. Each word placed carefully. The man with the clipboard looked away completely now. He was no longer part of this. The other one stayed near the cart, still, quiet, watching it unfold like he had expected it all along. Linda stepped back half a pace. Just enough to break contact with the door behind her. The broken key shifted slightly in the lock as the wood moved. A small sound. Sharp. Final. I was enforcing compliance, she said, softer now. The argument had shrunk. Rebecca's voice came through again, steady as ever. Officer, access system logs show forced entry attempt at 0843, she said. No emotion. Just data. Time stamped. Recorded. The officer nodded slightly, eyes flicking once toward the keypad. He understood exactly what that meant. Linda did not. Not fully. Not yet. "Ma'am, I am going to need you to step off the property," he said. The line had been drawn. Clear. Clean. Linda looked at me one more time, searching for something she could still use. There was nothing left. Just the truth she had tried to talk over. She stepped down from the porch slowly. Each step careful now. Measured. The same boards that had held her confidence minutes ago now sounded different under her feet. Hollow. The wind moved again. Lighter this time. The tension had shifted off the porch and settled somewhere behind her. The officer stayed where he was, watching her clear the last step before turning slightly back toward me. "You are good here," he said quietly. Not loud. Not performative. Just confirmation. I nodded once. The keypad blinked again. Green. Then dark. The system closed the loop. Linda stood at the edge of the gravel now, still holding the phone, still listening. Rebecca did not say anything else. She did not need to. The silence on that line carried more weight than anything that came before. Linda looked down at the broken key in her hand, then back at the cabin door she could not open, and for the first time since she arrived, she understood exactly where she was standing.